Welcome to NocBro Nation. I'm Josh Nocita. This is my brother, Justin Nocita.
Hello.
It's my best friend, Jarrell Haney.
What's up?
And today, we're here to review Walking Dead 168.
That is correct.
A Road's End.
Yes.
All right, so just to give everyone a heads up, we are going to be going over a review of this issue. So if you haven't picked it up, if you haven't read it, please go pick it up. Spoilers ahead in this video.
Yes,
also, if you haven't picked it up, the variant.
pick up this beautiful Pride
Love
variant.
Love it.
It's
Gay Pride
amazing.
variant.
Yes, pick that up. It's awesome.
That did sound weird, huh? Gay Pride variant.
What's
No,
a variant?
no, seriously, guys, pick it up. Awesome that Image Comics, Skybound, celebrating Gay Pride Month. Pick it up. Awesome that not only are we celebrating a cause, but we get this badass cover of Jesus literally spearing a walker. All right? All right. So let's get into it, fellas.
Well, let's do it. So, where do we begin with 168?
The burial.
Right? Do we begin with the burial?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I have to look.
Come on, man.
We do not begin with the burial. My
Oh.
bros are wrong. So we obviously do begin with a little bit of mourning.
Yep.
And then we begin with a rebuilding, right?
Yeah,
we begin with the rebuilding of the community.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And most importantly, from our predictions video, we kind of talked about Dwight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how Dwight was going to react to Sherry.
Yeah.
And we get that moment that we kind of been waiting for is how is Dwight going to take Sherry?
Right.
The death of Sherry.
Yeah. He's dealing with it all right.
I'd
In a
say.
way.
I
You
would say.
know.
Obviously, he's dealing with the death as best he can. But in particular, how is he dealing with the fact that Rick had something to do with it? Now, obviously, Rick, for the right reasons, you know, what happened was messed up. It was Sherry's fault.
Right. And Rick tries to talk to him about it, but you know, Dwight's like, no.
He
don't
says,
start.
stop, right?
It.
Stop.
Yeah, stop.
I get,
you know.
Yeah, I get the sense that he's holding in a lot of anger still.
I don't think so. I don't think he's holding in any anger towards Rick.
Just, you know.
But obviously, I think he's mad. He's
holding a lot
He's
in.
gonna be, but I don't think that he's mad at Rick at all. He's loyal to Rick, and he shows in the panel, "Stop it!
Mm-hmm.
I trust you. I believe you."
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we move to all of a sudden the Saviors.
Someone
John
says,
shows up.
Where's Rick Grimes? Or Rick, actually, no, he says Rick Grimes.
Yeah. Where's Sherry?
Where's Sherry? Yeah.
So Rick goes on to explain to John
Mm-hmm.
what happened. And is that a glass eye or is that eye just out?
I think it's
We haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem like a
Sure.
glass eye. It seems like maybe something's. I don't
He's
know.
blind in that
He's
eye.
blind
in that
eye or
So
something like
John, the one-eyed
Dude.
savior,
Yeah.
comes up to Rick's surprise and wants to know where's Sherry at. Has
Still hasn't found out.
his gang of saviors behind him, right? And at this point, we know that John hasn't found out about Sherry yet.
Not yet.
Right.
So he's asking, and he's pushing pretty hard, and Rick is trying to explain what happened, and just kind of once he gets the words out of, you know, it was an accident, she attacked me, and she's dead, he basically pulls a weapon on him.
Pulls a gun on Rick.
Yeah.
Right.
Which you never ever do.
Not when you have Rick's new buddy around.
Oh, and I wonder who
Negan?
that is.
Oh, hey. So we get an awesome comedic, badass, just altogether,
Another issue of Negan.
mostly Negan, right? Talking to John and his crew.
Yeah.
We won't go into some of the details on it because we will keep this kind of rated
PG.
a little bit.
Right.
But
We'll
go ahead.
save some spoilers, but Negan is just basically coming out and telling them, look, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to go back to the way things were, when I was in charge?
With the point system.
With the point system. Do you really want to go back to that? And
Ironed face.
yeah, and
But he tricks them, right? He tricks them first, and he says, "Hey, everybody, how about we go back to the way things were with me?" Isn't that great?
Wasn't that
Right?
amazing?
Who wants to do
He
that?
kind of wanted to test John to see
Well,
what he's going to say.
he's
That's
testing
the way I
he's
felt.
testing everyone.
He's testing everyone.
But what happens if everyone would have been like, okay.
Well, then we would have had a problem.
Yeah.
we
But I think Negan would have handled it.
I almost thinking that was gonna happen reading.
So
the
to
comic.
get to it though, we have Negan says, "How about we go back to the point system? Hey, do you remember how it was with me? Do you remember when we didn't have to scavenge for things?
Mhm.
We basically got things taken to us.
Right.
And why is that? Because people were afraid of us.
Right. And especially
And
afraid
especially me.
of me.
Yep, exactly. He always remembers to throw himself into that equation.
Oh yeah.
But so we get that kind of initial offer by Negan, and right when I'm reading that, I'm like, okay.
I wonder how many people
Yes!
are going to kneel down.
Yes.
Here we go.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of waiting for him to turn evil again, but
Right.
also I'm really
Yeah.
liking where he's at right now, and so let's go into that.
Yeah.
Really, it was a trick, right?
It was an absolute trick, and he's just seeing who
He
has
says, he says, hold on, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. He says, whoever wants to go back to that way, kneel.
kneel.
Right?
Yeah.
All right,
And
I'll let you go.
he's
Which
like,
the cover, they're all kneeling.
right. And so he's waiting around. He's like, so what? No one? Anyone? And one guy kneels, Mark, I believe his name is.
Mark.
He's like, I want to kneel. I forgot what he says, but he says, I'm with you. I want to go back to the way things were. And he's like, Negan is, so that's it? No one else? And then he slaps Mark right in the face. He's like, are you serious? He's like, I burned your face.
Yeah.
So do you want to go back to that? Burning faces?
So to give a little bit of background, maybe some of you forgot, but early in the comic, when we first meet Negan and the Saviors, and we go to the sanctuary, there is a particular panel where Negan is leaning into an individual and burning his face.
Oh, I remember that. It
If
was like
I am
half
not
a page.
mistaken,
That was cool.
the artwork was amazing on that. And if
Charlie
I am
Archer.
not mistaken, that is Mark
was
who is
Mark.
getting burnt,
Yeah.
not Dwight.
Right.
Mark.
Mark.
I could be wrong,
Yeah, let us know.
but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
let us know if it is otherwise, but I'm almost positive that it is Mark.
Right. And so he's saying, do you really want to go back to that? He's like, do you want to go back to burning faces? Come on, seriously? And so he's basically putting them in place like, look, we cannot go back to the way things were. We need to be a community. We need to work together to survive. Now,
Seems like, Negan actually kind of likes Rick's system of things.
Yeah,
It
because
seems that
is
way.
he
Well, look,
tricking us?
it
and,
seems that way.
Maybe
I don't think
when
so.
the time comes right.
If you remember back to All Out War, when All Out War was just about at the end, Rick tricked Negan. Before he tricked Negan and stabbed him, I think.
right.
He said to Negan, "We can change this world." I'm speaking in layman terms because I don't have the exact panel, but we can change this world. We don't have to fight. We can work together. You see that panel of Negan's face, like, "Oh crap, I'm wrong. What I'm doing, it's wrong."
Right.
And so from that point forward, I think Negan has really come to the sense that, look, this world is repairable, and Rick is the individual to do it.
Yeah, but Negan was living like a king, and I think he misses some of that.
Look, we don't know what's going on. As much as I'm telling everyone the way I feel, I could be completely wrong the next comic, and Negan could turn around and smack Rick.
Right, that's true.
Jeffrey, terrible king.
Yeah, but okay. So let's go forward. We get Negan now turning to John, right, and saying, "John, look. You're a smart guy.
I've always liked you.
I've always liked you. Matter of fact,
yeah.
I think that you're a stand-up guy or something."
Yeah.
Basically turning his attention to John. He noticed John didn't kneel.
Right. Nobody else did. Yeah.
Nobody else did.
So,
he even says that to John. I noticed that you didn't. You're a smart enough guy.
You're smart to know not that you don't want to go back to the way things were.
And then he proceeds to throw in John's face that Rick is the only reason why John is alive and not dead the minute that Rick decides that he wants him dead.
Right.
and I believe he says something along the lines that, that basically
Maybe
John
you're happy that
John should be thanking his lucky stars, grateful that Rick is giving him a second chance.
Exactly.
I think is what he said.
Yeah, and being grateful that Rick is not just a crazy psychopath in a way that is just going to kill you out of the whim, instead of wanting to work with you and work together. to help build what we need to build.
And does he proceed to threaten him? Now turn around and
He-
walk your
yeah,
ass back to the sanctuary or
Is he
something like
thankful
that.
Rick isn't
Yeah,
gonna do something about it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He basically tells them, look, you go back to the factory where I was able to, provide you with food and shelter.
What I built,
basically. And whenever whenever you need help, Rick will be there to help you. And after that's done, whenever Rick needs help, you will freaking be there to help him.
Basically, an open threat to John.
Yeah.
This is how you're going to do it. If you don't like it, then we'll deal with you accordingly.
You can die now
Go back
or
to
turn around.
where I built.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, he basically throws it in John's face. Look, dude, go back to what I built for you and wait for Rick to call on you.
Exactly.
That's what's going to happen.
That's
What does John and them do?
They stand there for a second, and then they turn around.
They turn around
and go.
And I love the next part.
Oh.
Absolutely love
My
the next part.
condolences?
Turns
So
around
bad,
to Rick
so
and
sad.
says, "My condolences."
My condolences.
I mean, I'm getting goosebumps right now. I am, man.
He's gonna always.
I
suck
love
up to
it.
Rick.
I love it.
Yeah.
I as much as I want to see Rick turn back to that evil villain, I
Yeah.
love the fact that he's, Rick's right-hand man right now. I mean, Dwight is.
Rick or Negan you're talking about? Go
I'm
back
sorry.
to evil, yeah.
Negan.
Negan,
I
yeah.
want Negan to
Right.
go back to,
Yeah.
being that evil villain. But as
Right.
much as I want that, I'm loving
I'm
that
liking where he's at right now.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. The night, and then the page after that,
Yep, so-
Carl's hugging Rick. I
Yeah.
didn't catch
So
that. When I first
now
saw it.
we
That's pretty
now we go into the burial.
Oh, yeah.
We have Rick and the entire community around the grave sites in mourning. We have Eugene basically saying, "This is my fault," right?
Yeah. Eugene is trying to still mention that it's his fault, and they're just like, no, man,
As we
it's
predicted.
not. As we predicted. But no, he's Rick is telling him, no, it's not. Just stop it.
Yep. So we get Rick back at his home.
Hmm.
Carl's trying to get his attention.
He just looks so lost.
He's lost.
Yeah.
For every right reason, Rick is lost.
Yeah.
And he's already made the decision that he has to move on, but that doesn't mean that he's not finished mourning.
Right.
And we see Rick just take off his prosthetic limb,
Yeah.
take off his shirt, and
Walks to the grave of where Andrea lays and
curls in a ball.
curls in a ball and lies there with her.
Yep.
So
in the
That
dead of
was-
night.
Pretty
Dead
special
of
how
night.
Robert Kirkman wrote that like that, and yeah, it really
Yeah,
kind of.
Charlie Adler, the work that you put into this comic is amazing. The artwork is just amazing. That last panel is
It is.
amazing. There's been many times where I've turned to a panel of walkers coming through a forest, I think when the Whisper War was going on, and said,
yeah.
gosh, that'd be an awesome tattoo across my back.
Yeah. And Kirkman in the end notes of the comic, he really praises Charlie for all the hard work that he's been doing with this series, and especially with this issue and the previous issue. That Charlie has done a lot of really great work.
Yeah.
So
Reading it at the end, especially, I want to talk about the last page again, where it shows Rick curling in a ball. As reading it, it makes you feel grief for Andrea. Like, I actually felt like, wow, Rick's really feeling a lot
You
of grief.
kinda
It
see
makes you
Rick's
feel
feelings,
that.
right?
You could feel that reading through the comic, and that is so special. That's
it
why I
brought that up
love The
again.
Walking Dead.
Yeah.
it
It's a
brought that up
huge
again.
story.
When that burial came up and he laid there, it immediately made me think of the issue where she died. It brought that back in my mind again. It's like, man, she's actually gone now. She was such a big part.
Can you
And,
imagine what's going to happen next?
I mean, now we have to move on without her, but it's what we have to do. So.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what we get next. Again, we'll get a video for the predictions of 169, so
Oof.
pay attention to that.
That's
Let us know your thoughts on 168. If you have any questions, post them down in the comments. And please, subscribe to our channel. I will say that every time until we get to 1 million subscribers.
Click that subscribe button in the
Oh,
bottom
geez.
right hand
You guys
corner.
are really
of your
emphasizing
page.
that.
Yes.
Watch
That
our video
subscribe
again.
button.
Yep.
That subscribe button is showing right there in the right hand corner of the page. Click it, subscribe. You will always be notified when we're putting up videos. There's more to come. Please.
Stay tuned. NocBro Nation,
We're out.